Hey guys, Marsegin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so JP posted the info for the LR Androids EZA that we will be getting on Tuesday morning UK time. I think it's 8 AM the EZA comes out. I think that's midnight PST. Obviously, if you're on global, you can check the news and the time is set to your local time anyway. So if you go to the news and check the celebration info for the Fighters like 21 campaign, it will show the EZA in there and show you when it's coming out for you. So I'll be live to do the EZA on stream, and yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look here. Now, unfortunately, hopefully when the sync happens, this will change, but despite the fact that this is coming out on both versions at the same time, Global doesn't post the tweet for the EZA details. So we basically had to sit and wait for somebody to actually translate the image that they posted to get some actual information about what the unit does. So shout out to our boy Luca Dokkan over here for running the translations. These are very basic translations, and then but essentially from what I can tell from what he posted, he's like used the Google Translate thing and then kind of just tidied up the language, because it will translate words into certain other words that you don't actually see in Dokkan passives. So rather than just doing that and then pasting it, he's actually, like, you know, translated that into what it would actually read as a Dokkan passive. So shout out to him. So this is the physical androids in their original form, right, where they start off as 17 and 18. So they get attack and defense 178%, attack and defense 78% when launching a super, medium chance to evade enemy attacks. Now, I can't tell from the wording if that means that's on super as well, because I think before their EZA, their dodge chance was based on an HP restriction, but they didn't need to super first. So I'm going to assume that it isn't, right? And then if HP is 66% or above at the start of the turn, they get 3 key and an extra 20% chance to dodge. Because pre-EZA, they only got their medium chance to dodge if they were above that 66%. So it seems like now they get a medium chance, and then if you're above 66% at the start of the turn, they'll have a 50% chance to dodge, as well as 3 extra keys. So, I mean, that seems decent, but they do get a decent chunk of additional defense on super. So against like AoE bosses, they're going to have to you're obviously going to want to dodge first. I guess the saving grace potentially is that Fusion Zamasu, for example, is int, so they do at least have type advantage. But we'll have to see what their start of turn defense is going to look like. Now, when they dodge an attack, they get an extra 35% defense for the rest of the turn. So they're going to get a pretty significant jump in defense when you dodge that first attack. But that puts them in that kind of precarious situation where you're pretty much just going to always want them to dodge the first attack of the turn. And if the first attack that they have to take of the turn is a super and they don't dodge, then they are potentially going to take a lot of damage, right? And then also for 3 turns, they launch an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. I'm assuming that's part of the dodge thing as well. So that's quite good. Every time they dodge, they get defense for the rest of the turn, and then they're getting an additional attack with a high chance to become a super. If you're using them as a floating support unit, though, it does mean that this expires before they come back, which means it's kind of useless, because if they're in slot 3, they've already attacked, then they dodge, then they get the ability to launch an additional super for 3 turns, which they can't do that turn because they've already attacked, and then they won't do on the next turn they come back because it will be 4 turns later. So interesting, I guess, to see how this will play out. And then they are still an android support unit. They were originally 2 key and 40% attack. They now give 2 key and 50% attack and defense. So in terms of the support, that is actually really good. And then their super attack effect, because you can see it listed here in the image, both of their supers now raise attack and defense for 1 turn. So their previous effects were colossal damage and lowers attack and defense, and then mega colossal and lowers attack and defense. So they will keep that, but they just now raise attack and defense for 1 turn as well. So they get the 30% buff on super, as well as lowering attack. It's on both supers, so if they do get an additional, they will get the 2 raises. Now, this is the one that I was really looking forward to, because when you look at the image, before we actually look at the text, you can already see here, 16, when he transformed before, he just had 200% attack and defense. Here, you can see 240%, and then there's this other 160% underneath. So depending on what this is, this boy could be getting some big stats. So let's see. Apparently his attack and defense 240%, as well as 8 key. So he's pretty much going to like auto 18 key super, right? Attack and defense 160 when launching a super attack. Okay, that's pretty crazy. So 240 start of turn. Then you factor in like his links and stuff, right? And then when he attacks, he's getting 160% extra attack and defense. Like, that is actually crazy. Great chance of performing a crit. Very good. When HP is 66% or less at the start of the turn, or if there is an enemy whose name includes Cell or Cell Jr., he gets a guaranteed crit. Okay, I saw the Cell or Cell Jr. wording there, and I was like, oh god, is he going to have some kind of horrible restriction because we never fight Cell bosses? But realistically, all it is it's giving him a guaranteed crit instead of a 70% chance. And you also get it if HP is 66% or less. So that is actually pretty cool. He can get guaranteed crits. Launches an additional super attack when there is an Android/Cell Saga category enemy, or all attacking allies in the turn are Androids category. So, I mean, that seems like a pretty solid and easy to get restriction as well. So, his super attack effects, did he post those on here? Maybe I need to refresh the tweet. I don't know if he has commented it underneath. But Android 16's, yeah, super attack and ultra super greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. Because before, what was his super attack effects? It was greatly raise defense on the 12 key, and then greatly raise attack on the 18 key. And now both of them are greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. So 16 seems like he could actually be crazy. And because it's an exchange with an active skill, as far as I know, that means they can't change the condition for the exchange. So the condition is can be activated when HP is 66% or less with another 2 or more Android allies on the team, or any time when facing a cell. So that does mean you're going to have to get 66% or less HP and the 2 Android allies in order to actually see 16 come out. And I guess like with the new Android team with 21, that team does have a lot of healing, so that could be interesting to see how often you are actually going to be able to get Android 16 to come out. But he seems absolutely ridiculous. Like, 240 start of turn, 160 on super, greatly raising defense on super. Then if he gets an additional super attack, which he has a chance to do in his passive, he's greatly raising defense again. And then you could get the hidden potential and he greatly raises defense again as well. So post super attacks, this 16 will be insanely good defensively. The only other problem, of course, with the exchange as well is that they only exchange into 16 for 3 turns. So you use the exchange, you get him on that turn, ideally you keep him on rotation, you have him on the next rotation, and then that's it, they go back to being the androids again. So I guess with how powerful this guy could be, you're kind of just using him as like a finisher. But the other thing I wanted to show, if we take a look at the Dokkan info thing here, there's a better screen for it, there you go. The one thing I wanted to show that's kind of interesting is if we look at their 200% leaders, they're only on the STR17s and then Cell, apparently. So, yeah, not exactly great. Like, obviously on the Android 21 team, they're going to be under the 170 lead. So the question is going to be, are they going to have good enough stats? I mean, 16, I think, probably will. But are they going to have good enough stats to be being run under a 170 lead? I guess we will have to wait and see. So those are the details for the androids. Shout out to our boy Luca for posting those translations. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I think they seem pretty decent. Like, they don't jump out of the page of being like the new best, you know, LR EZA, but 16 definitely seems very good. The base androids could be a bit of a liability. You're probably relying on dodge, but they seem like they could be good. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.